The biggest problem is that neither side will even allow themselves to see through the other side's eyes. I'll see. I just keep seeing the left wing take on a right wing action, and how they're like, look at them. They want to enslave women. No, they think you're murdering babies.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see it as healthcare. They see it as murder.
I watch so much.
And that bounce goes in one ear and comes out the other. And it's like, yeah, they want to enslave us. Us. They want to know what our pussies are doing. I want to know less about what your pussy does, frankly. Okay. I want to know as little as possible about what it's doing when I'm not around.
What I don't like, and it happens on both sides, is people who listens to news that tells them what they want to hear. And then it just reinforces and echo chambers their, information diet. And if you do that, then you're not getting informed on the topics.
Yeah.
I aspire to be better than that. Sometimes I hit it.
Yeah. I don't, that no one is saying, I don't think women have enough agency to decide about abortions. They're saying the abortions themselves are evil and that they don't want the child dead. That's their take.
Yeah.
And they just refuse to let that even process. Most of the time they're like, no, that's not how I like that argument framed. I have my own framing for that argument, and the other side won't look at their framing. The other side can never imagine that. All right, what if the brain doesn't get formed until the last day? Then how do I feel? What if there's no brain until the last day? Then how do I feel? Oh, I'd be on your side.
Yeah. Or like, hey, the extreme stance that some, but not all Republicans are taking has had some bad consequences, right? Moms with unviable babies who are dying or losing their ability to have the next baby because of that stance. That's a bad thing. In vitro fertilization in Alabama getting outlawed.
I have mixed feelings about that. Okay. If
maybe
you're
I need to learn something. Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
So when do you think it's a life that shouldn't be aborted? I guess
when it has any chance of surviving outside the mom.
Definitely.
But that means that as technology advances, your date will get earlier and earlier.
It does. Yeah, that's my stance.
I think it's easier just to go conception.
Okay, well,
I disagree.
Well, it would be. I just like investigating Woody's thought here because I don't disagree with it necessarily. I like it a lot. But the thing about that is, as technology advances, if we, for example, create artificial wombs, if there's a big jelly bag that we can put, then in that case, all of the IVF embryos that are fertilized, each of those is murder. So it's abortion on a massive scale. If you don't know how IVF works, they create lots of embryos. They take lots of eggs and they fertilize them all, and they create many embryos, maybe 6 or 8 or something or more, so that they can pick the best one, the most viable one. If you remember that scene in Gattaca, he goes 3 boys, 3 girls, and you see the tiny little pea-sized things. He's like, you pick the one you want. And they're like, and it's just like that. So as technology advances, you would quickly run into a problem with yours. But when they do the IVF, they've got, every time they do it as well, it doesn't work every time. They're making these batches of embryos over and over and over. It's abortion on a massive scale. But the whole point is that this couple who couldn't make life any other way, that their sperm and egg were never going to meet without the IVF science and the hyper ovulation that was induced, and then the micro surgery that's fertilizing the egg manually. All of that has to come into place before that even had a possibility. A life is going to occur that wouldn't have occurred without all that bad, and it's really hard to put a morality judgment on something like that. Yeah,
I never thought about it that way. I guess I never really thought about IVF.
There's a simple view of right and wrong, which I can respect. I know simple sounds like an insult, but it's not meant to be. It's just uncomplicated. It begins at conception, and that's the end of that. But I'm like, I look at a slightly more complex societal view. Be like, okay, are we sure that having unwanted babies thrust upon unprepared parents is going to make America great? Putting the question out there. Like, it's a valid question, and now we're going to have poor families, perhaps without fathers, and unwanted children coming into the world with their moms, just trying to make a go of it. Some of those kids are going to turn out great, but a lot of them are not.
I throughout my adult life, I've definitely changed my tune on abortion a lot. because I used to have like the belief of convenience, really, which was just like, yeah, I'm in favor of it because I don't want to deal with the consequences of my actions.
I've funded a couple of them, not to be hypocritical.
Yeah, I have not, but like at this point in my life, it's like, yeah, I'm against it, like pretty much 100% of the time. Like, and I think it's probably simplest and makes the most sense to just be like conception. Like that is a living being, and it's going to be ever increasingly more so. And so it's you get into like the nitty gritty of like, oh, well, what about this rare brain disorder? What if it has microcephaly where it's going to come out like this? And it's like, okay, that's definitely disturbing. But the 99.999% of the time that it isn't happening, it's someone killing the baby out of convenience.
So what's your stance then?
I think you made up your stats, but
so we're gonna go rape. Okay, well then we're gonna go rape woman's mother's life and severe birth defects. Do we do visual birth aesthetic birth defects, or do we do health birth defects, or all of the above?
Yes. I think we should apply the standard Kyle would apply to his own life. You lose half a pinky, fucking remove.
Hey, I'm not giving birth to the penguin here. We're not going to make it on DC Universe where we got Two-Face over here and the penguin over there wobbling around. No, thank you.
I don't know the best answer for every situation, but I know like abortion is killing a baby. Like it's wrong.
It's fun though.
No.
Okay. No, I like the stances. So Woody's when it's viable. Outside the mother, I kind of like that. I think it should be more like 6 weeks because I think the mother should be able to get some notice that it's go time.
I interrupt? Do you know how short 6 weeks is though? Like
42 days, I believe.
The problem is it's not. This is why I say that. It's so the timer starts at the period, right? So the timer doesn't even start at conception. It starts 2 weeks before conception. And then it's not until 2 weeks after conception that you're even expecting a period. So now you're 4 weeks into this thing before you're even like, at 4 weeks.
I know that. I'm not saying that you have 6 weeks notice. So
let me say, because I think maybe somebody listening doesn't know everything you do. And so now, it's 4 weeks before your even suspicions are arised. And women go a week late all the time. Everyone here knows that. So like it's not until 5 weeks that you're even like, oh shit, I should get a pregnancy test. And now you've got like 7 days to get in the operating room. And oftentimes that's not possible. Not about your convenience. It's about their schedule.
Yeah. I mean, I do think I agree with Bill Clinton on this one. Abortion should be legal and rare. I think that we need more people. There's just people that'll. I don't understand why adoption isn't an option. Every time I hear about the receiving end of adoption, they're like, can't get one, can't get a normal baby. All I can get is penguin or Two-Face over there, unless I want a Chinese baby. And Jesus Christ,
no,
right? You're gonna embarrass you.
Some kid called Monty with cheeky eyes. No, thank you.
Yeah,
I want the compliment, right?
And you want a rare baby.
Mongolian
and the Chinese. There's too many of them.
Get a Samoan.
So I don't know. I still like the 6 weeks thing, and I'll tell you this: if I was a sexually active woman, who was taking loads, I would keep a real tight fucking scoped out look on my uterus, and I would be making sure that like I wasn't pregnant. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I try to know as little about vaginas as possible. Outside the core.
That's just safer.
Yeah. The core stuff, but it would seem to me that there. Are you telling me that the pregnancy test would not be effective until after she's missed a period?
I feel like Zach is going to know this. When does? So here's my problem. Since I've given a shit about pregnancy tests, they've gotten better. So I'm out of date.
I would also want to know how much they cost, because I'm like, if they cost what condoms cost, then I would have one. I would just pee on one every day. I really would. Yeah. If I was like that sexually active,
a fucking 20-pack.
Yeah, if you're like, I would be peeing on one every day. I'd want to know.
Zach says $6, and they can tell you 5 days before your missed period.
So this Google says the day of your missed period, the first day of your missed period. So maybe they're not all the same, but just somewhere about 4 weeks into the pregnancy, as they phrase it.
I'm not trying to create
a commercial.
I just don't think it should be a
just
thing
think
with
6 weeks is a
loopholes
little close,
either.
man.
You know, it's
I love the loopholes because that's the health of the mother. That's the rape baby.
Sure.
That's the
those are
unviable fetus.
Yeah, but then like you run into the crux of the debate, which is like you have people saying this is killing a baby, and then you have people saying yes, but look at this teeny tiny percentage of abortions. What about these? And it's like, well, we should probably argue on the 99 point whatever.
Do you know
percent.
what the racial demographics are on abortion?
I would imagine like more black.
Yeah, it's way more black.
And so like,
want to talk about
most people are using it more as like a fail-safe birth control than they are. Oh, it's going to have a wild disease or something like that. And so then you have people talking past each other.
Flippers.
I'm trying to figure, because I know you're guessing at your stats.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know the actual ones. And God damn it, CDC, I want it as a percentage. Don't tell me like 622,000. What does that even tell me?
But I just don't know that I like the argument that only women should make decisions about this, because that again is ignoring the entire viewpoint of half of the rest of humanity, in that you're killing a person, and that's the part they care about. I don't care about policing women's pussies.
Yeah,
I don't care what you do with your pussy. I'm again free. I don't think freedom should extend until they encroach upon yours. You know what I mean? And there's some things that don't quite fit that mold. I don't know how I feel about homeowners associations. You hate them until somebody next to you has like a fucking burnt out car that's collecting hornet nests.
It's almost a necessary evil if like you're living next to a real like piece of shit. But hopefully you don't live next to it.
That's well phrased. Yeah. I mean, HOAs are opt-in. I love them. I love them for you. I don't want them for me. Yeah. But if you want a neighborhood where all the houses match and all the yards are manicured and that's important to you, then you can opt in and it's terrific. What I hate is when you want everyone else to have it but don't do your own part. That's when
360,000 black babies are aborted every year.
What?
360,000 black babies are aborted every year.
That is so many more than I would have guessed.
Yeah. That's a lot of
that's a lot of dead
babies.
Kids.
But it's a lot of dead kids. Looks like it's half of them.
Half of all abortions are black people?
I just have
14% of the population commits half of the abortions, Woody. That can't be true.
I on my screen it says 622,000 total. That's 2021.
Holy shit. It's the same number, Taylor.
It's the same number.
Well, I want to know what other numbers like.
This is like that Fibonacci golden ratio.
I don't know what the same number is.
14%, because
he said
the crime statistic. It's the same as the crime.
Oh, it's a crime. All right.
Yeah, because 14% of the population commits 50% of the violent crime. It's over 50. I thought it was 50.
Well, using that argument, you want as many abortions.
I think it's higher more recently.
No, you can't. You can't be doing that. Doesn't
imagine without abortion. Now, Taylor, imagine without abortion where we'd be.
We'd have a lot more people that weren't killed. So I would be happier.
A lot more violent crime.
Maybe
that's what
turn out good.
Says. I've mentioned this in one of the other shows. I don't know if PKA or A, but he looked at that massive decline in crime rates that happened somewhere starting in the 80s or so. Is that where it peaked? And said legalized abortion, not bringing in these unwanted babies into unprepared families is the actual reason that the crime rate dropped. Is it true? I don't know. It's in a book.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
It was that or the paint chips.
Paint chips.
It was that pesky lead paint get them so riled up.
Such a retarded argument.
There are levels to the debate game. He 1v3'd us with paint chips, and I still think he won.
Yeah, I think we were more just being polite. Like, oh, it's an interesting take.
Yeah. I mean, talk about cognitive dissonance. Like, it can't be that, no matter what. Wait, it can't be that, no matter what. That doesn't seem like a fair debate.
Well, it can't be that, Kyle. The whole world
can never be that ever.
If it's that, then my whole ideology is, nothing works.
Oh, so Taylor, where do you stand on the abortion pill, the one that makes the egg not It's a fertilized egg, but it doesn't adhere to the uterine wall.
Is that the same thing, right?
Plan B is that. That's what I should have called it because everyone knows that.
Like
it's a fertilized egg that never gets to the uterine wall.
I guess I would see that as lower priority than like the overall abortion debate. Like maybe I don't know. What are the numbers? Because I'm definitely a hypocrite with Plan B stuff because I've like in my younger years unthinkingly,
became Plan A very quickly.
Yeah, it became because I always knew the meme of people telling me like, that's not like fucking birth control, like that'll really fuck a woman up. And so like I always had that in my head. So it was never something I used like with girls commonly. But like looking back on it now, like
you just slip in the drink.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy one now.
Don't co-sign that.
So Taylor, according to Pew Research, accurate or not, I don't know, 53% of abortions are Plan B.
53% are Plan B. Well, then I got to be consistent. Yeah, then I mean that's by that same standard of conception, then that would be an abortion. So I don't like that.
Yeah,
you don't have to be consistent. Like I respect the consistency, and I have my own hypocrisies, but I'm like, man, you can say these are hard problems, and often perfect solutions don't exist. So. Yeah, this is where I land on like nothing's good here.
That's true, but like I do believe it's a life right away. Like that's like Bill Burr does that funny bit where the people he's like, these feminists come out and they'll say like it's just a clump of cells, and he's like, yeah, if I came into your kitchen and you had just put a cake in the oven and I opened your oven and I take it and I throw it all over your kitchen and you go, you destroyed my cake. I can't go. That wasn't even a cake. If I would have left it alone, it would have been a cake. Like there's no debate on that. I ruined a cake. I destroyed the cake. And it's like
you should have called it a clump of flowers. I don't know.
Just a clump of ingredients, meaningless. But it's like
just batter.
Yeah. So to be consistent there, yeah, it's and not just consistent.
So no Plan B.
Yeah, no.
What about exceptions? Health of the mom.
Health of the mom gets seedier because you want to like you need to help. Like,
she's having mental health issues because she's pregnant.
See, that's like the thing with the health is like it's when they say health of the mother a lot of the time, and I learned this because I didn't know. Like they'll mean like that also includes like financial health, and so they'll be like, "Oh, this is threatening financially."
I've never heard that before.
Or this is threatening mentally to me, and it's not necessarily like this is going to kill or cause serious physical issues for the mother. Which if it is
down
like
to whether or not you trust doctors. And some doctors absolutely are not going to behave the way that I'll just say.
I know how medical marijuana works, so I don't trust you.
Right? I thought of medical marijuana. The other one was President Trump and his fake bone spurs.